One of the main reasons Fast and Loud became a hit was Aaron Kaufman, who was famous for his distinctive beard and amazing mechanical abilities. Surprisingly, though, he decided to quit after 14 seasons. Then what transpired? Keep reading as we explore his departure from the show that catapulted him to fame. Even as a young boy, Aaron Kaufman had a soft spot for mechanical marvels. Anything that could move, had an engine, or make a lot of noise piqued his curiosity. He wanted more than merely to observe. His goal in life was to disassemble things, figure out how they functioned, and then reassemble them. He became one of the most famous custom car builders in the world because of his insatiable curiosity and desire to understand machines. It was mostly due of his dad that Aaron developed an interest in automobiles. He inherited an insatiable appetite for engines from his father, who was a mechanic. He wasn't merely repairing automobiles for a livelihood. It brought him immense joy. Everything about automobiles, trucks, and racing captivated him. Tools, grease-stained hands, and the sound of motors revving were inevitable companions for Aaron during his childhood. Suppose you were a child growing up there. I can see why he became so enamored with automobiles. However, the intriguing aspect is here. While Aaron did pick up a lot of useful information from his dad, he didn't start driving that year that his true enthusiasm began to blossom. Putting a wrench to a vehicle in a garage is one thing, but experiencing the thrill of driving a vehicle you helped build is something entirely else. At that point, his fortunes began to turn. The path that led Aaron Kaufman to become a renowned automaker may not have been obvious at first. Aaron did not have the privilege of growing up in a household with multiple cars, unlike some children. He did not receive a plethora of experimental cars or high-tech equipment. On the contrary, he had to figure out how to fix cars on his own whenever they broke down. Envision yourself as an adolescent with the sole responsibility of fixing your own car in the event of an emergency. There is no mechanic or spare funds to pay someone else to fix it, there is only you, your tools, and the problem. He had to hone his abilities fast due to the nature of the work. And you know what? Being a technician was never Aaron's career goal. If you had asked Aaron Kaufman when he was younger about his life goals, he probably wouldn't have mentioned creating the world's most amazing bespoke vehicles. Not at all. Being a park ranger was his ideal career path. I agree with that. Aaron always imagined himself living a nomadic existence, free to roam the wilderness and encounter all kinds of strange creatures. He dreamed of himself as a rough off-road truck patroller, safeguarding forests, mountains, and the environment. However, we often find ourselves steered in unforeseen directions by life. A passion for off-roading never left Aaron, even if he never became a park ranger. It ended up playing a significant role in his professional trajectory. He created automobiles to perform, to tackle harsh terrain, not merely to look great. To reach areas where regular cars couldn't. Aaron Kaufman was just a guy working in a small Dallas garage before he became the famous bearded mechanical genius that people all across the globe know and love. At least he hadn't appeared on television. He has a remarkable ability to disassemble objects, understand their inner workings, and subsequently reassemble them with an enhanced level of performance. Richard Rawlings was a man with lofty aspirations, an insatiable appetite for automobiles, and an excellent talent detector. Aaron met him one day while employed at a neighborhood Dallas garage. Rawlings had just opened Gas Monkey Garage, a business that specialized in restoring old, beat-up cars into custom hot rods and classic masterpieces. Something about Aaron stood out to Rawlings right away. He possessed exceptional abilities. He possessed an uncommon talent with automobiles. He had an unrivaled eye for detail and could picture a finished product in his head before work ever began. Rawlings quickly extended an offer to work for Gas Monkey Garage. A more ambitious plan had occurred to Rawlings by 2012. Gas Monkey Garage was something he aspired to bring to television. His idea for a reality show about restoring and reselling old cars quickly caught the attention of Discovery Channel. It was a very rapid and boisterous concert. And Aaron Kaufman was beloved by fans in no time. How was he unique? Which one was it, the long, rough beard? How he worked calmly and methodically. The amazing ability that transformed old, rusting cars into stunning works of art? Most likely every single one of those things listed above. Aaron was the meticulous brain behind the construction, in contrast to the boisterous and enthusiastic Rawlings. They were inseparable as a pair. As Fast and Loud exploded in popularity, Aaron stood out from the crowd due to his extraordinary commitment to his craft. He devoted himself fully to it, it was more than a job to him. And he demonstrated it in the most dramatic manner imaginable. Aaron had to go under the knife for an emergency operation while filming. While the majority of people would probably take a break to recharge, Aaron had other plans. After just 3 days off, he was back at his desk in no time. Just think about it, 3 days. Aaron was determined not to slow down following his operation, even though most people wouldn't even think about it. Aaron Kaufman and Richard Rawlings' Fast and Loud has been captivating viewers for years as they restore long-forgotten vehicles into breathtaking works of art. They made quite a pair. The gregarious technical genius who could revive any vehicle, Kaufman, and the brash businessman, Rawlings, were both present. However, by the year's end, things had changed. The news that Aaron Kaufman was quitting the program surprised fans. Kaufman was departing from Fast and Loud and Gas Monkey Garage after 14 years of collaboration. After all that success, why would he abandon it? In the background, what transpired? We should examine it more closely. Gas Monkey Garage looked like an ideal workplace from the outside. Being famous in the automobile industry, appearing on television, and customizing cars. However, things weren't quite as they appeared to Aaron. Workload, stress, and creative differences had a significant impact on him. He subsequently said that his last 5 years at GMG felt like 20. For so long, you must have been dissatisfied with your job. Kaufman and Rawlings' fundamental disagreement arose from their diametrically opposed ideas for the automobile industry. Aaron always wanted to construct automobiles that were larger, more intricate, and more powerful. However, demands were different for the TV show. Automobiles that were more entertainment-friendly, smaller, and easier to manufacture were their top priorities. The demands of television forced Aaron to concentrate on far smaller and simpler automobiles, despite his desire to make larger or more intricate ones, as he subsequently described in an interview with Art of Gears. Each assignment became increasingly frustrating for him due to the divergent artistic directions. Because it didn't fit in with his plans for the types of construction he preferred to do. In addition to the artistic difficulties, Kaufman acknowledged that he and Rawlings had some professional and personal differences. He didn't spill the beans, but it was obvious that production was far more chaotic than it appeared on screen. As he put it, we had arrived at a crossroads. Gas Monkey Garage was one possible destination. Bearing the burden of a demanding job while experiencing physical and mental limitations. On the other hand, he was able to build automobiles according to his own specifications, which brought him independence, fresh chances, and exciting new ideas. He ultimately decided to be free. Was Kaufman and Rawlings at odds with one another? That was a major concern on fans' minds. The tone was businesslike, but Kaufman did drop hints that tension was there. He didn't formally go on bad terms, but he did so due in part to his frustrations and our differences of opinion. It isn't easy to leave a job after 14 years. Additionally, issues can arise while working closely with someone for an extended period of time. Richard Rawlings was among the many who were taken aback by Kaufman's announcement that he was quitting GMG and the show. Later on, Gas Monkey Garage owner Richard Rawlings acknowledged that he had no say in Kaufman's dismissal. Comes out of left field, totally unexpected, was his description of it. It was something that Rawlings admitted. It was difficult to lose Kaufman. Without him, he said, it would be a long, arduous process to go on. Indeed, Kaufman was more than simply an employee. He had a significant role in GMG's initial rise to fame. The businessman was Rawlings. The man who sold automobiles and negotiated deals. However, those automobiles became renowned because of Kaufman, the master constructor. Everything at GMG had to be rethought when he was not there. Despite the devastating loss of Kaufman, Gas Monkey Garage had to go forward. In addition to the shop's already globalized brand recognition, Discovery Channel's Fast and Loud continued to be a huge hit. Even without him, the show continued. According to Richard Rawlings, Gas Monkey Garage wasn't run by a lone wolf, rather, it was a team. However, was that the case? Fast and Loud was widely believed by both fans and critics to have lost its magic following Kaufman's departure. Some were of the opinion that it might totally bomb. But it didn't sit well with Richard Rawlings. Claiming it was unjust to imply that Gas Monkey Garage couldn't function without Kaufman, he swiftly defended the rest of his staff. Even though Gas Monkey Garage took a major hit with Kaufman's departure, GMG was more than the sum of its parts, according to a blog post by Kama Rawlings on GasMonkeyGarage.com. To imply that the shop couldn't carry on without Aaron would be unjust to the other members of the team, he made it plain. Rawlings praised the Gas Monkey team for their perseverance and hard work, claiming that the garage's construction was a team effort rather than the work of a single person. Even though it's sad to see Kaufman go, he emphasized that Gas Monkey couldn't function without the rest of the dedicated staff. Gas Monkey Garage was under pressure to demonstrate that it could continue to provide the same high-quality, imaginative, and thrilling content after Kaufman's departure. To aid in the construction process, they introduced new mechanics. To keep their followers interested, they embarked on increasingly more ambitious initiatives. Attempts were made to maintain the level of enthusiasm that Kaufman had introduced to the program. But here's the rub: the audience picked up on the change. The shop continued to do a fantastic job, yet something was lacking. What made Kaufman special was his one-of-a-kind combination of personality and skill set. Even though the dynamic had shifted, the program went on for 3 more years. While some fans remained, others were disinterested. One thing that made the performance entertaining to watch was the chemistry that Kaufman and Rawlings had. The absence of such camaraderie and cooperation made everything feel different. The 2020 season of Fast and Loud concluded. The Fast and Loud period that we know was over, but Gas Monkey Garage is still around. Gas Monkey Garage made an enormous impression on the automotive industry, even though the show did end. Fast and Loud popularized the idea of custom cars for a long time, exposing restorations and hot rods to an international audience of millions. Were Kaufman and Rawlings not involved, would anything have transpired? Very unlikely. After Aaron Kaufman's 2017 departure from Gas Monkey Garage and Fast and Loud, fans naturally wanted to know what the bespectacled genius had planned next. Does he intend to abandon the automotive industry? Was he going to go off the air? Would he decide to begin a new endeavor? Well, Kaufman had no intention of giving up on his dream. But he did something significant instead. In Dallas, Texas, he established ArcLight Fabrication, an auto body shop. While working at Gas Monkey Garage, Kaufman frequently had to hurry through builds to fulfill the deadlines of Fast and Loud, despite his longing to work on larger and more intricate projects. He preferred a different approach to employment. Therefore, he eagerly seized the opportunity to do things according to his own standards. Not just any auto body shop, ArcLight Fabrication. It was clear what Kaufman wanted. In addition to building automobiles with the meticulous attention to detail he adored, he planned to specialize on Ford F-100 pickup trucks and produce and sell aftermarket parts for them. The Ford F-100 pickup truck was just one of many cars that Kaufman could have concentrated on. To be fair, Kaufman has always favored vintage trucks, particularly the decades spanning the 1950s to the 1970s. Although the Ford F-100 is a legendary American truck, genuine replacement components might be difficult to come by. There was a chance for Kaufman. Why not make the parts that truck fans need instead than just refurbishing these trucks? With ArcLight Fabrication, he accomplished precisely that. Setting up his own store wasn't a picnic. A whole squad and a massive platform were at Kaufman's disposal at Gas Monkey Garage courtesy of Fast and Loud. Everything had to be reconstructed from the ground up now. It was his responsibility to identify suitable clients, teams, and projects. However, this was Kaufman's genuine calling. Instead of rushing through buildings for television, he would prefer to do what he loves and take his time. ArcLight Fabrication is still operational after all these years. Working on Ford F-100s, creating bespoke parts, and constructing trucks the way he always imagined is still Kaufman's passion. Aaron Kaufman's departure from Fast and Loud and Gas Monkey Garage had many fans questioning whether he would ever be seen again. Aaron Kaufman didn't merely go from television, he returned with 2 riveting series, Aaron Needs a Job and Shifting Gears with Aaron Kaufman. Let's examine these shows more closely to see what they cover and why automobile people and Kaufman fans should watch them. By honing in on his specialty, restoring and optimizing the performance of vintage automobiles in Shifting Gears, Kaufman got back to his roots. The show is about more than just making a fast buck by selling used cars. It's all about challenging yourself with massive restoration projects and discovering the hidden potential of old cars. For these constructions, Kaufman enlisted the aid of a carefully selected workforce. And, with a fresh spin, the event maintained the same high-energy vibe of Fast and Loud. An important part of Shifting Gears is the connection to Kaufman's job at ArcLight Fabrication. The program takes viewers inside Kaufman's workshop, where he creates one-of-a-kind components and works on personal projects. He obviously loves what he does and takes great satisfaction in restoring each vehicle. And you know what? Fans and critics alike were very complimentary about Shifting Gears. Many were enchanted by the sight of Kaufman at his creative best, restoring vintage automobiles. Moving Gears wasn't Kaufman's last book. Then, in Aaron Needs a Job, he tackled a whole new genre. In comparison to his previous work, this show is completely unique. There's more to it than that. Instead, Kaufman visits individuals all around the nation who are engaged in interesting automotive-related side projects. With his characteristic inquisitiveness and resolve, Kaufman immerses himself in every project, whether it's repairing a rare old car or creating an insane bespoke machine. Kaufman isn't merely an expert and master at car assembly, he's also attempting new things in Aaron Needs a Job, which is the plot twist. As he ventures beyond his comfort zone, Kaufman encounters intriguing and challenging tasks, such as collaborating with a team of experts and learning new skills. Aside from the technical aspects of changing gears, this presentation has an exciting, entertaining vibe. Working outside of his comfort zone gives Kaufman a taste of new experiences while also introducing him to fascinating people who share his enthusiasm for the automobile industry. Aaron Needs a Job and Shifting Gears both highlight Kaufman's openness to new experiences and his passion for cars. The same enthusiasm and energy that made Kaufman a favorite with Fast and Loud fans follows him wherever he goes, whether it's repairing a vintage vehicle, taking on a wild new project, or learning something new. We got to witness Kaufman's passion projects come to life on television, even after he left Gas Monkey Garage. Kaufman isn't going anywhere, and we're here to enjoy every second of it.